Hey everyone, it's Tyler Strike of Universal Rackets, and today we are going over what to do if your backhand just does not feel good. If you don't like your backhand, if you prefer your forehand over your backhand, then this video is for you. I hope by the end of this video, you will at least like your backhand as much as your forehand, or like your backhand more than your forehand, but we'll see, okay? So the first thing is, a lot of players feel like their backhand feels so awkward because of one thing. It's because they are not using the right hand for the two-handed backhander. And what I mean by that is a lot of players, they swing and they think, my backhand sucks, it's so bad, because of one thing. It's because you're not using the proper hand. Well, Tyler, what do you mean? If you have two hands on the racket, then what do you mean proper hand? It's very simple. If you are a right-handed player, I want you to think the left hand does the talking, the right hand does the walking. If you're a left-handed player, the right hand does the talking, the left hand does the walking. A lot of players, they swing with their two-handed backhand and they're using their bottom hand the whole time. I need you to think, if you're a right-handed player, and again, if you're a lefty, do inverse, right? All a two-handed backhand is a left-handed forehand. So when I'm swinging with this racket for my two-handed backhand, this hand is doing all of the work. So what I want you to do next time you're on court playing, before you play or before you drill, just do a couple left-handed forehands, right? Whenever I'm getting warmed up for my two-handed backhand, I'm just swinging with my left hand. I'm swinging with my left hand. I'm teaching myself the feeling of what it's supposed to feel like, what hand does all the work, and then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to, again, put my bottom hand on, and then I'm going to be swinging, okay? Another drill that you can do is when you swing, after you're done, what I want you to do is once you're done, I'm going to swing. And once you're done swinging, you're going to wave towards your opponent. Now, number one, you're going to get in your opponent's head because they're going to be like, why are you waving at me? And then the second thing is by doing this and waving, it's going to be teaching you, again, to use that left hand. A great progression to do to get that certain feeling of being dominant with your top hand, left hand for righties, right hand for lefties, is go up to the service line, do a little bit of short court, and number one, you're going to do your left hand. Number two, you're going to take your arm off and wave, and then number three, you're going to do the regular two-hander. Now, in each example, it should feel the same. The goal isn't just about the execution. Some people have trouble hitting a non-dominant hand forehand, but the goal is to get the feel. So once again, you're going to do left hand, you're going to do the wave, and then you're going to do a two-hander and rinse and repeat. By getting the feeling, it's going to help you much more. The next thing, okay? Every two-hander wants to be a one-hander, and every one-hander wants to be a two-hander. Let me say that one more time. Every two-handed player will always think at one point or multiple points in their playing career that, I wish I was a one-hander because I saw Roger Federer on TV. Every one-hander is going to see Rafa Nadal or Novak Djokovic and be, I wish I was a two-hander. Here's the thing, Tyler, should I switch from a two-hander to a one-hander, or should I switch from a one-hander to a two-hander? My advice to you, and what I tell every single person, is have you been playing tennis for more than 2 years? If the answer is yes, then and your backhand, you can hit it over the net, then do not switch. If you've been playing for 2 years and your backhand completely sucks and you can't hit the ball over the net, then you can switch and try the one or the two-hander. But if you've been playing less than 2 years, or even, let's say, a year, then you can pick which one you want to do. So the moral of the story is you will always want what you can't have. You'll always want that beautiful one-handed backhand, or you'll always want that two-handed backhand, right? But if you haven't been playing for more than, let's say, or if you've been playing for less than 2 years, or if you've been playing for more than 2 years, you don't need to change it. You just need to work on it, guys. So don't think that you have to change your backhand just because it's not working, okay? Stick with what you have. The last thing, okay, a lot of players, they have trouble with their two-hander or one-hander backhand because of this main thing. They don't turn. A lot of players, it's your non-dominant side. I want you to think, for your forehand, you have more leverage to come around, right? For your forehand, even if you're not turned, you can arm the ball and still probably get it in. But for the backhand, you don't have that much leverage. It's on your non-dominant side, and you're probably not as comfortable on this side, right? If you do two hands or one hand, you don't have as much flexibility over here. So think, I'm doing my forehand. Even if I'm open, I can probably still make it work. But for the backhand, when I swing, I don't have as much flexibility. So I have to make sure I turn. A lot of players, they can't hit a two-hander or one-handed backhand, or they don't prefer it because they don't turn all the way. You need to make sure that you turn for your two-handed backhand. I will say that again one more time, or one-hander. You need to make sure that you turn. The first thing that you should do before the ball even crosses the net is you want to turn your body, okay? A lot of players, they feel like their backhand's so awkward because they just don't turn. So the first thing, before the ball even crosses the net, you want to be here. How do we ensure that we turn on our two or one-handed backhand? It is super easy. You guys ready? When I turn and I take the racket back, I want you to think about two things. Number one are my hips. My hips are facing to the side, right? So every single time that you turn for your one or your two-handed backhand, you need to make sure that your hips are facing to the side. The second thing, I want you to pay attention to my racket face. I'm going to do it for you guys here right now, okay? When I turn again, I turn from my one-hander. We'll do a one-hander for you guys. I want you to look at where the strings are at, right? I want you to see the strings are facing to the side. The tip of the racket is pointing backwards. Once again, when I turn this way, right, turn, I want you to notice the strings are to the side. The tip of the racket is pointing backwards. This is how you want to be for your two-handed backhand or one-handed backhand. Well, Tyler, I turn all the time and I still feel really awkward. Turning is two things. Turning is number one, your body. We're talking about your hips. But then number two, it's your racket. A lot of players, they turn with their body, but they don't turn with the racket. They're either starting here or they're back here and they're taking the racket all the way back. They either turn too much or they don't turn enough. Again, in order to make sure that you're turning, make sure your hips are to the side, tip of the racket's pointing backwards, strings are to the side, and then you're going to be much better off when you hit. So once again, if you can use your non-dominant hand for the backhand, left hand does talking, right hand does walking for right-handers, or for left-handers, so I'm getting my rights and lefts mixed up. Left hand does the talking, no, right hand does the walking, left hand, no, right hand does the talking, left hand does the walking for left-handers. If you can, make sure that you turn your body. You don't only turn your body, but you take your racket back. And if you can just make sure that you really are turned and fully follow through, use that top hand, you're going to be so much better off when you hit your backhand. I hope this makes you feel less awkward with your backhand. I hope this is going to help you prefer your backhand over your forehand. That is the goal. Have a good one, happy hitting, and I'll see you guys next time on court.